Weekend update. On Friday, my friend Sarah and I literally spent all day planning our upcoming fall break trip. So I've written a little poem to describe how it went. I saw my bank account drain, so we can go by plane, bus, taxi, and train. Real creative with the rhymes. Off to Scotland and England for a break. London, Bath, Stonehenge, then a tour of Skye we will take. Planning is almost done, but not a piece of cake. All right, so there's that. That was my Friday, and moving on. Saturday, I went on a hike to the Vosges, Vosges. It's the mountain regions of France. And we went to this area called Saint-Dié, S-T-D-I-E, with a little thing over it, over the E. And here's a slideshow of that. We hiked around for 6.5 hours. My friends had done it previously and were kind of like warning me about it because they had a really bad experience. It was really rainy and just not a good time. When they went, their clothes were soaked, but when we went, it started off a little misty. It was really cool. We were hiking the mountains through the fog, and then it rained for just a little while, and then it cleared up, and we stopped hiking for lunch. We peaked one of the several times that we peaked. And we just looked over the valley and you could see the fog. It was so cool. You could see it rising up over the town in these little almost anti-tornadoes. They're like spirals but going upwards. And then by the time we finished lunch, it was so clear, so pretty. And I think I have a video of that. Found it. So yeah, it was really cool. I'd highly recommend it. Everything was so green. I go hiking a lot back where I'm from, but this was a different kind of forest. I kept saying so many times, feels like I'm in a fairy tale right now because the trees were covered in green moss, so were all the rocks. There were mushrooms that I'd never seen before, the kind with the white base, and then on top of it, it's red with the little white dots all over it. So that was really cool. If you're gonna do the Syracuse program or any kind of program in Strasbourg, it's through SWAPS, which is the sports center here for people at university. So just sign up through that. My only suggestions would be to go to SWAPS beforehand and get the hiking boots, and don't forget to bring a lunch, which I did, and that was okay. And then after that, I got home around 9 at night. I was pretty exhausted, so I just went straight to sleep. And then on Sunday, our host family cooked us a really good lunch. It was pretty simple, but it was typical, I think they said, to southern France. It was potatoes and, don't shoot me for not knowing, but some kind of really good cheese that they heated up and poured all over it with some wine from the south of France. So it was a very French meal, followed by French activity, because afterwards they invited me and my roommate to go mushroom picking with them. She had food poisoning from a school trip that a lot of people went on and got sick on. And it's so bad that I'm laughing, but the story is actually really hilarious because it was just so ridiculous. It was too awful to not be just really funny. So she stayed home. Sorry, Emma. But we went out. They called it to go to the mushrooms. Or mushrooms in French is champignons. So we went champignon hunting in the woods, and it was really cool. It was another kind of Alsatian forest region, and we walked around. The floor was moss covered, so it was kind of springy. We sprung around looking for different kinds of mushrooms, and the neighbors told me which ones were good and which ones would kill me. And then my host father, who I think I've mentioned before to some of you guys, is really funny, and he always does this little thing, he's gonna fake write a letter to my parents, and he was like, "Dear Amelie's parents, her roommates got sick this weekend and died because of food poisoning, and your daughter ate a poisonous mushroom and that killed her, so we are very sorry." And it's a bad French accent, but it was hilarious when he did it. And I just had a great time.